in the world. Five Northeast High School students fought bravely in battle. They had all had have a story to tell and how they managed almost make it to the end, but then soon fought defeat. Our story will begin with the journey of Brianna playing big chitty chitty thing. Brianna, Brianna was an amazing student, focused in class, did her work, until she met one day she had the worst teacher of her life, the tyrant Miss Wright. Miss Wright, Miss Wright, she was a teacher. She was a bitch. But 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 Brianna thought she could handle her. So the other four followers decided to leave her behind. Miss Wright, with her big, ugly fingers and meaty claws, came at Brianna.
I'm done.
Brianna, being a bit on the chubby side, couldn't avoid the attacks that Miss Wright threw left and right, and then hit fell forwards towards the ground. That was the end of the Brianna. Moving on along the trail, as we journeyed on across the mountains of Valhalla and the hallways of You Get Caught detentions, we managed to escape and hide in the classroom. But then No Dare got hungry, and we told him to wait during hall sweeps. But he was like, I gotta go. And then he turned the corner, and all we heard was the big screams of the security guards chasing, hey, saying, hey, you. And all I remember is me and Orlando saying, Berserker! And then they all just ran down the hallway, and they caught him. And that was the end of No Deer. Journeyed on still, far and wide. We found a little midget. His name was Adrian. He asked for us to join our club, but then we was like, no. What kind of games do you play? He said Smite, and we was like, no, those are for scrubs, like you. So he left him behind on the side of the road with a piece of bread so he can fend for himself. He later died of starvation. As we journeyed on, we got to Consta. Now Consta, he was a brave, noble hero. Paid attention in class, knew all the hacks, knew all the cheat codes in games. But there was one cheat code he could not stand, was subs. With the sub throwing things left and right, Consta tried to fight back, but the battle was too hard. I magically came back and helped him. But what he didn't understand was sub was already infected. The sub work has already infected him in his blood, and he was already dying slowly. So we had to drop him off at the nearest Pokemon Center, but it was too late. That was the end of Consta. All that
Consta
was
was a
left was Consta was a Pokemon. Yes. As we go on for the final two, we had Chris the Barbarian and Orlando the Wizard. Now, Orlando, his death was accidental. So we was journeying through, and we had to stop on the side of the road to the bathrooms on our way to class. And while I was taking the mud monkey, I heard all this yeah yeah yeah, and I was like, what is that? And I caught him watching hentai, and I was like, no, you don't do this in here. So Chris came up, he shot Orlando in the foot for watching hentai. Orlando was bleeding, so I tried to save him, but he accidentally slept and he cracked his head open. That was the end of Orlando.
what?
And for me,
Why do I have the most pathetic death?
this is
What?
Chris. As I journeyed on towards the breasts of many favorable teachers, I stopped at one. Her name was Miss D. She could get the D. She had the fat ass. I was like, Miss D, Do you want the dick? As she bent over, and I was ready to fill her with my ogre cream. Her boyfriend walked in, and then while I was in mid motion, all I hear was pow 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 to my back. But he did not know I was already black, so I can take all the many bullets to that as I can. But I told him as I was fainting downwards, about to die, I said it was already ogre, and she was impregnated with my kid. And that's how the end of the Northeast kids drove off and will live out towards history. Class of 175. Advisory 161. Smites are for scrubs. Scrubs like Adrian. The end.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Turn on this camera. I need to see. Alright, first off, why had the most pathetic death? What? Why? That was a good
Because
scratch.
you're watching hentai. You should never have been watching hentai. That's your
I'm
fault.
expecting death by like an essay or Mr. Lynch or Miss Herrick. No. I get shot in the foot and I slip and die.
No, you cracked your head.
Yeah, exactly, because I slipped.
Nah, if anything, I think no Dare had the most dramatic deaths. He ran out the corner and got caught because he was hungry. He said, "Berserker!" And the Berserker caught him. The security guards caught him.
Oh, poor Adrian.
He starved to death.
What type of games do you play? Smite. Smite. Like Adrian. As soon as the game comes out, the tagline is...
I also kind of had a bad death too.
You got poisoned, man.